Hi, my name is Dean Jablon at Lifetime Tea. I've been in the tea business now for almost 19 years. I've helped thousands of people get their businesses started. And over that time, I've come up with a list of 10 questions that you really need to be asking yourself before you get started. So let's jump right into it in no particular order. So what are the realistic costs associated with starting your business? The first one would be your website. That's going to range anywhere from $2,000 for a basic website to $20,000 or more for something much more comprehensive based upon your expectations and your budget. There's product selection. You're going to want to, of course, have a selection of different products based on your target market. And for that, you could expect to spend anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. I would strongly recommend in the beginning that you minimize the amount of product you keep on hand until you know what your sales volume is going to be on these products. Legal fees and accounting services can range anywhere from $500 to $2,500 or more, depending on how comprehensive a setup that you're going to have for your business. Business liability insurance, it's always good to have business liability insurance, and the amount of coverage you need is going to be based upon your own personal financial situation. Of course, if you have greater assets and greater financial exposure, the cost for that policy will be much greater than if you have very little as you're getting started. Your insurance agent will be better able to guide you and advise you on the coverage that will be best for you. You're going to want to establish a marketing budget to drive traffic to your site, to also promote your products on social media campaigns. And realistically, you could expect to set up a budget of anywhere from $250 to as much as $5,000 per month, again, depending on your budget and what your expectations are from this business. And it's always important to have some cash on hand. I think it's a very prudent approach to always having money that you can keep in your bank account that ranges from as little as $1,000 to as much as $5,000 or $10,000 or more, so that you're in a position to be able to act when opportunities come along. Number two would be, who are your target customers? This is extremely important to identify who you're going to be targeting in this business. Males, females, age ranges. The more specific that you can get, the more likely you're going to have greater success in these areas. How many products should I include in my lineup? I would say 5 or 6 products represents a good starting point. It helps you cast a wider net so that you could put these products out there for more customers to try it, see what they like. Over time, you'll start to see patterns of which products become your best sellers. And then, of course, you could focus in more closely on those products. Number 4, should I sell my products on Amazon? Yes. You absolutely must sell your products on Amazon. I say this not because I'm a great fan of Amazon, although I'm a great customer of Amazon, as many of us are, but I think customers are so conditioned to buying products on Amazon that if they go to your website and you spend a lot of money to drive them to your website, and they search and learn about your company and they learn about your products and they get your product into a shopping cart and they're just ready to check out, and all of a sudden, just before they're ready to purchase, they say, let me check and see if I could find the same product on Amazon cheaper and maybe get it delivered tomorrow. You will see a bounce rate from your website that becomes a pattern. And if you don't have your products available on Amazon, those customers are likely just going to move on to find a similar product that will come up in their search. Number 5, how many different sales funnels should you have? A sales funnel is a way to track your customer from your initial contact through the purchase. Some examples of different sales funnels would include consumer direct products from your website, farmers markets, females 25 to 35, females 45 plus, teas that may be helpful for diabetics, teas that may be helpful for weight loss, teas that may be helpful for sleep, teas that may be helpful for memory or focus, teas that would be good for energy. I think having 4 or 5 different sales funnels as you get started will really help you build a solid foundation for growing your business. Number 6, how do I establish the pricing of my products? Pricing is extremely important when it comes to the profitability of your business. So I think establishing the pricing is going to be based on the types of products that you offer. If you're selling an Earl Grey or an English breakfast tea, you're going to be limited to the pricing because there's so many places that a customer could buy those products. If you're selling a tea that's specifically developed for diabetics who have high blood sugar, then you're going into a very specialized market. There's the expression, there are riches in the niches. When you start focusing into some of these niche markets, you'll find that there's greater opportunities to have products that have a much higher margin. So I think that the pricing is going to be based on the uniqueness of the products that you're offering. Generally speaking, a price point of about $1 to $1.20 per serving is a good realistic price point for a functional tea. So a consumer might expect to spend $30 to $35 for a very specific tea that addresses some functional issues, where they may not be willing to spend that much for an English breakfast or an Earl Grey. Finally, incentives are a great way to help motivate customers to make multiple purchases. For example, purchasing 2 and getting the third one free, spending more than $80 and getting free shipping. So when you're setting the pricing for your products, be sure to factor in these incentives. Number 7, what are the best packaging options to consider? Packaging is extremely important for your project, and there are a lot of products to consider when it comes to packaging. I am a proponent of the pouches. Pouches are a great way to store your products. They keep them fresh. They are easy to pack and ship. They weigh very little. They cost very little. Some other options would be tins or paper tubes, which also look very nice, but they are much more costly per unit. They're much more costly to ship. And tins especially can damage very easily in transit. So for these reasons, unless you have a brick and mortar location, tins and paper tubes are not really the best option. Additionally, tins and paper tubes will require that the tea go inside of usually a foil-lined insert that goes into the tube, so the tea isn't actually directly into the tin itself. Whereas the pouches, the tea can go directly into the pouch. So for those reasons, I'm a proponent of the pouch. We have a lot of different options available, but I think you'll find that if you look closely at your product and you're focused on profitability, that you will also agree that pouches are a great way to start. Number 8, should I use labels or print-on pouches? A print-on pouch would be just like it sounds, a pouch that has the information printed directly on the pouch, whereas a label is a label that is printed and applied to a blank pouch. In the beginning, it's always best to use labels to get started, always. You're going to make some changes along the way. You're going to want to make some adjustments to the text, to the coloration perhaps. Whatever the case is, you'll make some adjustments as you're going through this process that you're not able to make once you print on those pouches. When you provide a printed pouch, that's it. There's no changing to it. With the labels, we print off just enough labels to fill the order. So if on your next order you decided that you wanted to make some adjustments or changes, those can be made on the new label run for the secondary order. We're happy to work with both options, and we have some great references and resources available to help get you started in either direction. Number 9, how much time will I have to invest in this business? That's a question that each person is going to ask themselves and determine up front based on their own situation. I'm a believer that if you're into something that is going to produce a great return, that putting as much time as possible into it is going to be the key, especially in the beginning. You also want to maintain a good quality of life, so you don't want to consume so much of your time that you're taking time away from other things that should not be overlooked, like your family. So it's very important to either help get your family involved in this project, which many businesses do to get started, and I think that's a great way to make everyone involved in the project, or also look at what your realistic expectations are based on the amount of time that you put in. For many of the customers that we work with, they're working a full-time job right now. So the ability to spend 30 or 40 hours onto a startup business is not feasible. So looking at something that you can break down into 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 10 hours a week, whatever it is, you could look at the time that you could spend into this business to reach a point where hopefully you'll have enough revenue generating from this business that you could eventually leave your full-time job and make this where you want to be. Number 10, what is our minimum order quantity? We've given some thought to how we're going to approach this, and we've come up with 2 solutions. We have a minimum order quantity and we have a minimum order value. Our minimum order quantity for existing products that we currently have in our inventory is just 50 units, 50 units of each. A unit would be considered a pouch that would have typically between 20 and 30 tea bags or loose leaf tea in it. The minimum order value is $2,000. So the cost for your minimum order would be approximately $2,000, and the minimum quantity would be 50 units. How that translates would be that if you have 50 units of a particular product, you could launch up to 6 different products and stay within the budget of $2,000. So we feel that this represents a good startup number, and it represents a good budget to get things started so that you could really grow your business without having a significant upfront investment. Now, if you're going into a custom blends are a little different because it's not a product we currently have. We're going to build this blend just for you, and a custom blend has a minimum order of 10 kilograms. To keep that into perspective, 10 kilograms represents approximately 5,000 tea bags. So 5,000 tea bags, if you're having 25 tea bags into a pouch, translates into roughly 300 pouches of tea of one custom blend to meet our threshold of $2,000. I hope you found that information to be helpful. We look forward to speaking with you in greater detail and learning more about your business and finding ways that we may be able to work together. Much of what we do is relationship-based business. We are really not a transactional-based business, and for those reasons, we don't have our systems set up to transact on a website for a custom blend or a private label tea order. It's very important for us to have this connection with our customers so that we can grow and help your business along the way. And I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you found some value in it, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.